Hi all, very good morning. Welcome to Chandan Likes English YouTube channel. In this session, I am going to discuss human diseases and its vaccines. So this unit is very important, students. Why? Because in every examination, like you can get one question from this. So either it may be like a human diseases question or it may be a vaccine related to that human disease. So each and every student from starting to ending, all of you listen carefully to this session. Why? Because it is very important. So it is useful for SSC GD, RRB Group D, RRB NTPC and even for APPSC and TGPSC examinations also. Okay. Very good morning one and all. Before starting the sessions, once all of you click the like button. Okay. So what is disease actually? So what are the reasons? Okay. What are the reasons for a person to affect with the disease? So today we are going to discuss. Okay. So what is the parasite which is reason for certain type of diseases? In this session we are going to discuss. Okay. So what is the life cycle of Plasmodium falciparum? And this is also we are going to discuss. Okay. So each and every student from starting to ending, please do not miss even a single point also. Okay. And at the end of the session, I will display the question which is related to this content and you must mention your answers in the comment section. Okay. So what is human health and what are the diseases? Human health means what, students? It is nothing but, wait a minute. What is human health, students? Health is defined as a state of mental, social and physical being. What is health actually? It is nothing but it is a state of mental, physical and social being. Okay, that it may be that the person's health is related to either physically or mentally or socially. Okay, that is known as what, students? Health. Diseases on other hand is disturbance in the proper functioning of the body. What do you mean by disease actually? It is nothing but it is the disturbance in proper functioning of the body. Okay, for example, like a heart disease. If a person is having a heart disease, so that is nothing but, what do you mean by this disease? This disease is causing some disturbance in the proper functioning of the heart. For that purpose, we say it as what, students? Heart disease. That person is suffering with a heart disease. What is this disease? Okay, why? Because, okay, this person's heart's functioning is not working properly. For that purpose, we will say that he is suffering with heart disease. So that is nothing but what, students? This disease, okay, when a person is affected with a disease, that person's particular organ function will not be done properly. Okay, so that is health and that is disease. And next, which further affects the functioning of organs and organ system, thus both health and disease together. Okay, so health and disease are related in this way. Okay, actually what do you mean health, students? Health is nothing but it is the state of mental, physical and social well-being of human being. What is disease actually? Disease is nothing but if a person is affected with disease, so that person's particular organ, it may be a heart, it may be a lung, it may be a liver. So their functioning will not be done properly. So there is an interlink between health and disease. Okay, if a disease is affected to a person, that person health is not well. Okay, if he is healthy, that means any disease is not affected to him. So that is the relation between the health and disease. Next, important topic that needs to be studied for better understanding of our body. So in this session, we are going to discuss detail what are the how the human health is affected with a certain type of diseases. So what are the pathogens responsible for those type of diseases? In this session, we are going to discuss. Okay, each and every students, please listen properly. Why? Because in every examination point of view, we are looking one MCQs from this. So that may be, what is the parasite responsible for the malaria? Or what is the parasite which is responsible for the tuberculosis? Okay, so what is the pathogen which is responsible for AIDS? So these type of questions will be asked rarely. Okay, so everybody listen properly, students, from starting to ending. And at the end of the session, I am going to display the question. You must mention your answer in the comment section. Okay? Yes. Next. Okay, types of disease, as we have discussed many times. So how the types of diseases will be, students? Contagious diseases or congenital diseases, non-communicable diseases, Okay, some will be it will be spread from the genes itself. Okay, so now we are going to discuss what are the types of diseases. Okay, so what are the types of diseases, students? Nothing but congenital diseases, and the next one is acquired diseases. Okay, what do you mean by congenital diseases, students? The diseases that are present by birth. For example, okay, a person will be born by birth with disability. That means, okay, that type of disease is known as what, students? Congenital disease. That is what? That diseases was spread for him from his parents through genes. Okay, that type of diseases are called as what, students? Congenital diseases. So this may be due to gene mutation or chromosomal aberration or environmental effects. So many persons will say that, so during solar eclipse or during lunar eclipse, so the mother should not move. So this is like a practical which will be believed by most of the people. Okay, but in general, so what happens actually? So when a pregnant woman, so during solar eclipse or lunar eclipse, if the rays falls on her, that is not good for our head. Scientifically, that is the reason. Okay, so in that cases also, so some of the defects will be there for the a child. Okay, so in this way, if a baby is born with by birth with a certain type of diseases, that type of diseases are set as what, students? Congenital diseases. So what are the examples for this congenital diseases, students? Like hemophilia, color blindness, Down syndrome, Turner syndrome. Okay, do you know what is the reason for Down syndrome and Turner syndrome, students? Actually, in a human being, there will be 23 pairs of chromosomes. Okay, so in total, there exist 46 chromosomes in each human being. Okay, if there is a deficiency or if there is a extra chromosome in a person, so that leads to which condition, students? Either Down syndrome or Turner syndrome. You all know very well about this. Okay, how a kid will born with Down syndrome or Turner syndrome, students? If there is an extra chromosome or if there is a deficiency of the chromosome, so these conditions will be appeared. Okay, so these are considered as what, students? Congenital disease. That means that person is born by birth with such type of diseases. What are the example? Color blindness, Down syndrome, Turner syndrome. Okay, next. So these may be due to these defects are transferred from one generation to another generation. Okay, if a person is like very short, so I will give a perfect example. If both the parents are very short, so how the child will born? Even the child will be also very short. So that is the example. In the similar way, if any of the parent is suffering with such conditions, so the born child will also, so in some cases the born child will also have such diseases. In some cases there may not be any diseases. Okay, that is the what? Congenital diseases. Okay. Next, acquired diseases. Acquired diseases is nothing but what, students? These diseases that are acquired during a lifetime are known as acquired diseases. So what are these acquired diseases? So this may be by infectious or communicable. Sorry, what do you mean by acquired diseases, students? That is nothing but the diseases that are acquired during a lifetime are known as acquired diseases. That is, for example, okay, a woman or a man after reaching at the age of like 45 to 50, so she may be attacked with high BP or she may be attacked with sugar, diabetes. So that is nothing but from 45 to at the end of her life, that will be continued. So that type of diseases are known as what, students? Acquired diseases. So that diseases will, when it attacks a person, that disease will be lifelong. So that type of diseases are called as what, students? Acquired diseases. So not only these, students, communicable diseases, non-communicable diseases. Communicable diseases means what, students? When which transfers from one person to another person. Okay, which transfers from one person to another person. Example for communicable AIDS. Non-communicable diseases means what, students? The diseases which do not spread from one person to another person. Example, cancer, heart disease, diabetes. We have already discussed this. And the next thing is infectious or communicable diseases. These are transmitted from one person to another person. Just now I have discussed. Okay, what do you mean by communicable diseases, students? If communicable or infectious disease. If a disease spread from one person to another person, for example, AIDS, HIV AIDS. So actually it is a virus. If a person is infected with HIV virus, so that virus can be spread from one person to another person through blood fusion or something. Okay, that type of diseases are known as what? As infectious or communicable diseases. And the next one is non-communicable diseases. So I have already told you, these diseases does not spread from one person to another person. Example, cancer, diabetes. And the next, deficiency diseases. So some type of diseases will be, for example, if a person is having vitamin A deficiency, so that person, okay, what type of diseases he will be dealt with? Like night blindness. Okay, if a person is having vitamin A deficiency, that person will suffer with night blindness. So similarly, if a child is suffering from protein deficiency, that child will suffer from kwashiorkor. If a child is suffering from like what? Malnutrition, not only proteins but also carbohydrates, fats, lipids. So that what type of disease that kid will face? Okay, what is that? Marasmus. Okay, only protein deficiency means kwashiorkor, all the nutrients deficiency means marasmus. So remember the difference. Okay, even if there is any deficiency of either vitamins or proteins or carbohydrates, so there what? Diseases will be spread. Okay, in the similarly allergies. Allergies is nothing but, so some people are sensitive to some foreign substances. Okay, some people are sensitive to some foreign substances. For example, some people does not like to eat curd, so that means they are allergic to curd. So either they may don't like the taste or they don't like the smell. That means they are allergic to curd. Okay, hypersensitivity to foreign substances causes some kinds of allergies. The allergies are caused by pollen, dust, mites, etc. So allergies might caused by either dust or mites. Mites are nothing but like insect bites, okay, or pollen. Okay, so remember students, these are the types of diseases. Each and every type is very, very important. So you must know. So what type of disease is this? Is it a communicable? It is a non-communicable, or it is a by birth disease, or it is a genes related disease? Okay, you must know. You must have an idea. Okay. Next. Okay, so these are some of the common diseases in human students, and what are the pathogens responsible for those diseases we are now going to discuss, and what are the symptoms of that disease. Okay, each and every student, this is very, very important for your exam point of view. So listen properly. First one is typhoid. So we all know, what do you mean by typhoid student? Typhoid is nothing but, we know it is a fever. Okay, how this typhoid, okay, what is the reason for this typhoid? Okay, and what is the test to be done if a person is suffering with typhoid? We are now going to discuss. Okay, what is the pathogen causing agent of typhoid? Salmonella typhi. It is a bacteria. So bacteria, virus, protozoa, these are called as what? Pathogens. Okay, these pathogens are the reasons for a person to be infected with diseases. Okay, typhoid. What is the causing agent for this typhoid, students? Salmonella typhi. That is nothing but it is a bacteria. This is very, very important. Okay, this causing agents is very, very important. So mostly you will get questions, MCQs from this point of view only. Okay, and the next thing, how this bacteria will be affected to a human being. How this will enter into our human body? Either by contaminated food or by contaminated water. If a person consumes a contaminated food or water, so what enters into his body, students? Salmonella typhi. It is a bacteria. If it enters our body, what happens to that person? He will be suffered with typhoid. Okay. And what are the symptoms? Continued high fever, headache, stomach, constipation and loss of appetite. So it can be diagnosed by what, students? Viral test. Okay, it can be diagnosed by viral test. If a person is suffering from typhoid fever, so how can we detect that typhoid? By doing a viral test. If it is not treated, so listen properly, if typhoid is not treated, so what happens, students? Our intestine, so our intestine will be like what is that? Perforated. That means holes. Okay, our intestines will be perforated. So that is the if we do not treat that typhoid. Sometimes this typhoid may be also fatal also. Okay, and the next one is pneumonia. What is the causing agent of this pneumonia? Streptococcus pneumonia haemophilus. So it is also a bacteria. So listen, students. So if you do not know the causing agent of a particular disease, so you can easily identify it. Why? Because in each and every causing agent, the name of the diseases will be there. For example, if you look at this Salmonella typhi, so this is nothing but typhoid. If you look at this causing agent of pneumonia, you can observe here pneumonia. So this is one of the trick. I think everybody know this. Okay, so this is also an bacteria. So what are the symptoms if a person is infected with pneumonia? So what is, students? By inhaling droplets or aerosols released by an infected person using infected utensils. Okay, did you understand how this pneumonia will be how this pneumonia will be how this pneumonia will be caused to a person, students? If he consume or if he inhale the infected persons anything, if he inhale the infected persons, either it may be like aerosols or it may be droplets, okay, this pneumonia will be spread. And what are the symptoms? Symptoms will be fever, chills, cough and headache. Okay, so respiration problems due to fluid that gets filled in the alveoli. So we have already discussed about the human respiratory system. What is this pneumonia, students? So in this pneumonia, which part of the lungs will be affected? Mostly alveoli. Okay, this alveoli gets blocked due to this pneumonia. Okay, alveoli is nothing but what, students? They are the sac-like structure which are present at the end of the bronchiole. Okay, and the next thing is common cold. So common cold is nothing but it is a rhinoviruses. What is the causing agent of common cold? Rhinoviruses. So what are the symptoms? By cough, sneezes and contaminated objects. If a person cough or sneeze, this rhinovirus, so it will be entered into another person's nose. Okay, so what are the symptoms? Nasal congestion and discharge, sore throat, cough, headache. So nose and respiratory passage. Everybody knows what is common cold. So you may not know what is the causing agent of this common cold. What is the causing agent, students? Rhinoviruses. Okay, next. Next, malaria. So this is very, very important. So many times malaria. So what is the pathogen responsible for malaria, students? Protozoa. And what is the protozoa? What is the name of the protozoa which is the responsible for malaria? This is very, very important. Plasmodium falciparum. Actually, this plasmodium has three types. One is Plasmodium vivax and one is Plasmodium falciparum. So among these three plasmodiums, Plasmodium falciparum is most dangerous. Okay, and this is the pathogen which is responsible for malaria. Plasmodium, it is nothing but it is a protozoa. So in upcoming slides, I will explain the life cycle of this Plasmodium also. So why? Because that is very, very important thing. And what are the what is the vector actually? If a female Anopheles mosquito bite a human beings, this malaria will be spread. And what are the symptoms, students? High fever with chills. So what happens actually? I will explain in the upcoming slides. Okay, so how when a person is, when a malaria, okay, if a person is bitten by a female Anopheles mosquito, so how that Plasmodium will spread from one part to another part of the cell? In upcoming slides I will explain briefly. Okay. Now next one is amoebic dysentery. So what is the causing agent, students? It is also a protozoan. Okay, it is also a protozoan. And what is the causing agents? Entamoeba histolytica. Okay, so how this will be spread? So houseflies are a carrier spread by contaminated food by the fecal matter. So what is the what is the vector what is the vector which is responsible for spreading this amoebic dysentery? Housefly. So these housefly, it will like be in all the places, even in the very dirty places also it will be there, and it will like on our food. If we consume that type of food, so these type of protozoa, what is that protozoa, students? Entomobia histoltica, this will enter into our body, and which type of diseases we will be face, students? Amoebic dysentery. So what are the symptoms of this amoebic dysentery? So constipation, abdominal pain, mucus and blood in the stool. If a person is infected with this amoeba dysentery, so what are the symptoms, students? Constipation as well as mucus and blood in the stool. Okay, and finally infected in the large intestine. So mostly if a person is infected with this amoeba dysentery, most of the infections will happen where, students? In our large intestine. Okay, very important, each and every disease and the cause and the vector and what are the reason and what will be the symptoms. This is very important table, students. So each and every student make a screenshot of it or even maintain a notes. And the next one is ascariasis. So what is this ascariasis, students? What is the causing agent? Ascaris helminthus. Okay, so how it will be spread from one person to another person means by consuming contaminated water or either vegetables, fruits. Parasite eggs are excreted in feces of the infected person which contaminate soil. If a person is infected with this ascariasis, listen properly. If a person is infected with this ascariasis disease, so when he passed the stool, so that stool consists of this parasite eggs, and that eggs will contaminate the soil again, and that soil, when we cultivate the vegetables, and if we eat that vegetables, again that parasite will enter into our body. So in that purpose, this ascariasis is spreading from one person to another person. Okay, so what are the symptoms actually? Muscular pain, internal bleeding, anemia, fever. So blockage of intestinal passage. So these are the symptoms if a person infected with ascariasis. Okay, each and everything is very important, students. If you get question paper from moderate to difficult level, so these type of questions will be asked from this unit. Okay, what is ascariasis? What is the causing agent for this ascariasis disease? What is the causing agent, students? Nothing but Ascaris helminthus. So what are the symptoms? What are the symptoms, students? Like muscular pain, internal bleeding, anemia, fever. Anemia is nothing but what, students? Loss of blood, shortage of blood. Okay, next. Filariasis or elephantiasis. So we have discussed what is this filariasis, nothing but if a person is having a leg, one of his legs will be like elephant leg, it is swollen very largely. So that type of disease is known as what, students? Filariasis or elephantiasis. So what is the causing agent? What is the vector and what are the symptoms? Which part of our body will be affected more? So now we are going to discuss. Okay, Wicheria bronchitis, W. malaria hemanthis. So this is the causing agent for this filariasis. So in this also when you look at this, but there is no like a trick to remember this. So what you have to remember, students? Bancrofti, W. malayi. So this is the causing agent for this filariasis or elephantiasis. How? Okay, blood sucking blackflies and female mosquitoes act as a vector. This filariasis also it will be also infected if a black mosquito or a black fly, it will suck the blood. So these diseases will be infected. And finally, so what are the symptoms? Inflammation of the lower limb and genital organs. Nothing but our lower limb. Okay, our lower limb is nothing but leg. So there will be very large swelling to our lower limb and there will be inflammation into our genital organ. Okay, and what is this? Lymphatic vessels, especially of the lower limbs, gets blocked. So when you look at the this type of filariasis disease, the limb of the person affected with this filariasis will be very very large. Why? Because that person's leg was bitten by either by a female mosquito or a black fly. Okay, and that fly is infected with this Wucheria brachyphoty W. malayi. Okay, and the next one is the ringworms. Ringworm is nothing but fungi, students. Okay, ringworm is nothing but which pathogen it is actually? Fungi. Okay, so microsporum, trichophyton, epidomyphyton. So this is the causing agent responsible for a ringworms. Okay, and what are the symptoms? What is the vector? Spread from the soil using a towel, clothes or comb of an infected person. If a person is having a ringworm, okay, if a person is having a ringworm, if he use his a comb, or if he use his towel, or if he use his clothes, that person will also be infected with this ringworm. Okay, very, very important. So what are the symptoms, students? Dry scaly lesions, itchy skin. Okay, dry scaly lesions and itchy skin, nothing but, okay, here it will be like this ringworm. Okay, if a person is infected with this ringworm, if that person's towel or clothes or comb is used by another person, this ringworm will be spread from this person to this person also. Okay, and what are it affects skin, nail, scalp. So what are the areas this ringworm will affect? It affects our skin, nail and scalp. Okay, scalp is nothing but our head. Next, life cycle of Plasmodium. This is very, very important. So now we are going to discuss how malaria is infected to a person. So what are the life cycle of this Plasmodium? Plasmodium is nothing but what, students? So it is a pathogen which is responsible for malaria. If a person is suffering with malaria, so if it is treated before recognized, it is well. If not, the person may even die. Okay, how it is spreading actually? Now we are going to discuss very, very important, students, life cycle of Plasmodium vivax, or life cycle of Plasmodium. What is this? Plasmodium falciparum. Okay, Malarian plant cells. So listen properly. So actually how a person is infected with malaria? By a bite of female Anopheles mosquito. So actually this Plasmodium, it is a pathogen. Okay, now I will explain each and everything. Listen properly. Okay, so this is a mosquito. Okay, this mosquito has bite a human being. This mosquito has bited a human being. Okay, this is a pathogen. This sporozoite. The sporozoite is a pathogen. Sporozoite. So when from mosquito, this sporozoite enters into the human body, and from human body, this sporozoite, which is a pathogen, it enters into the liver. Okay, this sporozoite from, okay, when a person was bitten by a female mosquito Anopheles, the pathogen, what is the name of that pathogen, students? Sporozoite. So this sporozoite will enters into our liver. Okay, this sporozoite will enter into our liver through blood vessels. So what happens in our livers? Okay, this sporozoite, it will directly attacks our liver cells. So what happens in liver cells, students? These liver cells, okay, in the liver cells, these sporozoites will be multiplied. Okay, when you look at here in the liver cell, these sporozoites will be multiplied. These sporozoites will be multiplied, and after after the liver cell gets burst, so again these sporozoites will be multiplied into number of sporozoites. And what is the poison sporozoite known as what, students? Merozoite. So this, okay, a single sporozoite which enters into the liver cell. So this liver cell will multiply that sporozoites, and it will fill up all the liver cells of the liver, and finally when the liver cell bursts, so that enters into the merozoite state. And finally what is happening here? This is all asexual. Okay, here the division of sporozoites is happening asexual manner. Okay, and as it is dividing multiple times, so there appears a male gamete and female spermatozoa. Okay, there appears male sporozoite and female zoonozoite. So that sexual sporozoite, male sporozoite and female zoonozoite, that stage is known as what, students? Gametocyte. Okay, and that gametocyte stage, if a person is in gametocyte stage, and if that gametocyte person is again bitten by that mosquito, so what happens in mosquito? if a person is in this gametocyte stage, if a mosquito bite that person, so again in the mosquito the fertilization takes place. Why? Because in the mosquito there is a male and female a sporozoite. That means that mosquito, when it is sucking the blood of this gametocyte stage, that mosquito, it is doing fertilization inside. Okay, and what happens that in the same way that mosquito is again in biting the person, so again the process is continuing. So this is the way how a person is affected with malaria. Okay. Plasmodium enters in the body by the bite of female Anopheles mosquito. The infectious form is sporozoites. Okay, when a person is bitten by a a mosquito, female Anopheles, so what enters into the human body, students? What is that? Sporozoites, which come from the saliva of female Anopheles when they bite. Okay, did you understand what I said? If a person is bitten by a female Anopheles mosquito, from the saliva of the female mosquito, what enters into the human body, students? Sporozoites. Okay, and next, it further multiplies in the liver cell and then attacks RBCs, resulting in the RBCs rupture. Did you understand what I said? So when it enters the liver, so what happens in the liver? That sporozoites will be multiplied into number of sporozoites, and finally the RBCs will be ruptured. The RBCs which are present in the liver, so due to multiplication of these sporozoites, that cells will be ruptured. Okay, a toxic substance known as hemosine is released. When that sporozoites are ruptured, so what is the toxic substances which is released, students? Hemosine. Okay, and next, the gametocyte from the human blood gets transferred to the mosquito when it bites an infected person. As I have told you already, okay, when a sporozoite enters into the liver, so it will be multiplied into many sporozoites. So what appears there? Some will be male and some will be female. Okay, so that stage is known as what, students? Gametocyte stage. If a person is in gametocyte stage, again if the mosquito bite that person, so what happens? The mosquito will suck the gametocyte stage like a female and male sporozoites. When it is sucking, so in the mosquito itself, so what happens in that gametocyte stage? Again the fertilization takes place in the mosquito. Okay, the fertilization takes place in the mosquito, and what happens? Again in the mosquito, that spermatozoites will be multiple ways. Further sporozoites are formed. These sporozoites migrate to the salivary glands of mosquitoes and the cycle is repeated. So this is how the malaria is infecting to the protozoa. Plasmodium is infected to the female Anopheles, and how the Haemophilus is spreading this plasmodium to our human beings, and how our human beings are again passing this gametocyte stage to the mosquito. This is the cycle repeated. Okay, next. SSC exam calendar is released. So everybody look at this calendar so that you have an idea when the exam will be there, how to prepare. SSC CGL special batch complete course is also available on our Chandan Law exam. SSC GD special batch complete course is also available. RRB NTPC special batch complete course is also available on our Chandan Law exam. 0 to Hero complete course is also available. SSC exam complete course is also available on our Chandan Law exam. Railway exams complete course is also available. Bank exams complete course is also available on Chandan Law exam. Bank SSC RRB combo course is also available. Arithmetic and reasoning, you can get both the books only for 999 plus delivery charges applicable. APP SC TGPSC SA constable courses are also available. Next, types of immunity. Okay, you know, if a person is infected with disease, he must have the immunity. If there is no immunity, so that person will be easily die. Okay, what are the types of immunities? Innate immunity. Okay, next one is what, students? I will explain. Okay, the immunity is defined as the ability of the body to protect and fight against any pathogen or foreign body. What do you mean by immunity? Immunity power is nothing but the person should have the capacity to fight against the pathogen. That pathogen may be either a bacteria, a fungi, or a protozoa. If a person is affected through a certain microbes, that person should have the capacity to fight against that pathogens. That is known as what, students? Immunity. So what are the types of immunities? Now we are going to discuss. Okay. Innate immunity. Innate immunity is nothing but this immunity is present at the time of birth. Okay, the immunity power which we will have at the time of birth is known as what, students? Innate immunity. There are 4 types of barriers present in the defense mechanism of our body. So physical barriers, physiological barriers, cellular barriers, cytokine barriers. Do you understand what is in the slide, students? Actually, what do you mean by immunity, students? A person must have the capacity to fight against the certain pathogens. That is said as what, students? Immunity. What do you mean by innate immunity? If a person is born with the immunity by birth, that type of immunity is known as what, students? Innate immunity. Okay. What are the barriers actually? There are 4 types of barriers for this innate immunity. So what are those? Physical barriers, skin and mucus coating of the epithelial lining of the respiratory, gastrointestinal and urinary tract. So some or the other way, this physical barriers. So these physical barriers are protecting us from pathogens. So what are those, students? Skin and mucus coating of epithelial lining of the respiratory, gastrointestinal and urinary tract. So some or the other way, these physiological barriers are protecting from pathogens. In the similar way, physiological barriers means saliva, tears and stomach acid. This saliva, stomach and what is this? Tears. So these are also some of the barriers. Okay, these are also some of the barriers for this immunity. Next, cellular barriers, neutrophils, monocytes, natural killer lymphocytes. So interferons that are secreted by virus infected cells. So these are the barriers, okay, which protect us from pathogens. Next, acquired immunity, and the next one is what, students? One is innate immunity and the next one is acquired immunity. What do you mean by acquired immunity? Lifespan, moreover, it is pathogen specific in nature. The primary response towards acquired immunity is seen after the first encounter with the pathogen. Okay. So these are not that important. What we have to learn here, students, there are 5 types of antibodies present in humans. Very, very important. How many types of antibodies are present in human, students? Very, very important thing. Remember. Okay, what are those? IgG, next IgM, and the next IgD, IgA, IgE. So these are the 5 antibodies which are present in our body. Okay, what are the 5 antibodies present in our body? IgG, IgM, IgD, IgA, IgE. So let us discuss each and every antibody which is present in our body. Okay, first one is IgG. It is the most abundant antibody that is found in the blood. The antibody which is found in the blood is known as IgA. Very, very important. And the next one, IgG, it is transferred to a fetus through the placenta and protects the infant until their own immunity develops. What is this IgG antibody? Actually, it enters through the fetus through placenta. So it will protect the baby and it will provide the own immunity until it burns. So what is that antibody, students? IgG. Next one is IgA. It is present in the breast milk colostrum. So very, very important. Okay, during pregnancy or after pregnancy, the first drop of the mother's milk is very, very important. Why? Because, okay, that first drop of the mother milk after pregnancy is known as what, students? Colostrum. This colostrum consists of an antibody which is known as what, students? IgA. If a baby consumes that first drop of yellowish milk, so that baby is having antibody. Okay, very, very important. And what is that antibody, students? IgA. Okay, why? Because it consists of, lactation has a lot of IgA. It consists of lot of antibodies. And the next one is IgE. It is involved in the allergic reaction. Okay, IgE. If a person is having any type of allergy, so which antibody will protect that allergic reaction? IgE. And the next one is T lymphocytes mediate the cell mediated response. Cell mediated response is responsible for distinguishing between self and non-self. Okay, what are the 5 types of antibody, students? IgG, IgM, IgD, IgA, IgG. The antibody which is present in the blood is known as IgG. and the antibody which is present which is entered into the fetus through placenta is known as IgG. And what is this IgA, students? This IgA is an antibody which is present in the breast milk, the first drop of mother after pregnancy, colostrum. It consists of many antibodies, and that antibody is known as what, students? IgA. Okay, and finally IgE, it is involved in the allergic reaction. Next, active immunity. Antibodies are produced in the host body in response to antigen. Okay, next, allergies. Allergies is nothing but just now I have discussed. What do you mean by allergic, students? A person is sensitive to some foreign substances. If a person is sensitive to some foreign substances, either it may be a dust, or it may be a mites, or it may be a insects. So that type of situations are known as what, students? Allergies. Next, autoimmunity means when the body attacks self cells. What do you mean by autoimmunity? When the body attacks its self cells. So that type of immunity is known as what, students? Autoimmunity. So in such cases, what type of diseases will be seen? Like rheumatoid arthritis, it is an autoimmune disorder. Okay, what do you mean by autoimmunity? If a person's cell attack their cells, so that type of disorder is known as what? Autoimmunity disorder. And what is the example for this autoimmunity disorder? Rheumatoid arthritis. Okay, next, AIDS. You all know what do you mean by AIDS? Acquired immunodeficiency syndrome. Okay, you all know very well about this HIV, human immunovirus syndrome. Okay, what is the full form of HIV? Tell me, students, what is the full form of HIV? Human immunodeficiency virus. Okay, AIDS, HIV, AIDS, nothing but human immunodeficiency virus syndrome. Okay, so what is it? It spreads from one person to another person. So what is the type of virus actually it is? We will discuss. It is caused by HIV, human immunodeficiency virus, and it is a retrovirus with RNA at its genome. It is nothing but it is a retrovirus. Next, the virus produces viral DNA in the host by the enzyme reverse transcriptase. The viral DNA gets incorporated in the host genome and multiple copies of the virus are produced. So what is happening, students? Retrovirus is nothing but if a person is infected with the HIV AIDS, if that virus is spread from one person to another person, so as it is a retrovirus, that virus will be multiplied into many viruses. For that purpose only, if a person is infected with HIV virus, so he will not sustain for a long time. Okay? The virus attacks helper T cells where it replicates and multiplies, resulting in a marked decrease in the number of T lymphocytes. T lymphocytes are nothing but these lymphocytes protects us from pathogens. If as the virus are multiplying more numbers, so what happens? It will reduce the power of this T lymphocytes which protects our body. Okay. Next, what is the test required to detect this HIV AIDS? ELISA, enzyme linked immunosorbent assay. This is a widely used test to detect HIV AIDS. ELISA. For typhoid, viral test, and for AIDS, ELISA test. Remember, very, very important. Okay. Next, cancer. You all know cancer. So if a cancer is treated or if it is identified at the earlier stage, we can do something, treatment. So if it is not detected, sometimes it may even lead to fatal. Okay. Cancer is caused due to uncontrolled cell division leading to the formation of tumors. If there is a single, if a single cell is damaged, if we recognize it, so that cancer development will be stopped there. If we did not recognize it, so what happens? The single damaged cell, so it will multiply and it forms a tumor. Okay, so if we recognize it at the early stage, we can diagnose it. If not, it may lead to death. Okay, there is a background of regulatory mechanism in the normal cell. Cancerous cell lack contact inhibition property which inhibits further growth of cell in contact with other cell. Did you understand what it is in the display? If a damaged cell, if it is in contact with the active cell, so what happens? This damaged cell will damage another active cell also. In the same way, what happens, that single damaged cell will multiply into many damaged cells, and finally it forms a tumor. So that type of condition is known as what, student? Cancer. Next, benign tumors remain at their original location. Malignant tumors have invading ability and damage surrounding tissues. So what is this? So there will be types of tumors. In cancer, there are types of tumors. So what are those? Benign tumors are nothing but, so where it is affected, so it will remain in the same location only. When comes to this malignant tumors, so it have invading ability and damage surrounding tissues also. So they are destructive in nature. How many types of tumors we have, students, in cancer? One is benign tumors. That means that cell where it is damaged, it will be there in the same location only. When comes to this malignant tumors, so they have the capacity to transfer from one tissue to another tissue. So it will spread throughout the organ. Next, cancer is caused due to DNA damage, genetic mutation resulting in the mismanaged regulatory. Okay. Next, carcinogens. So nicotine, students. So what do you mean by nicotine? Okay, what is the use of this nicotine? The nicotine which is present in tobacco. Okay, every person will smoke. So most of the persons will smoke, right? So that cigarette consists of what? Nicotine. So what does this nicotine will do to our body? Okay, when a person is consuming this cigarette, so what happens? Nicotine enters into our body. So what it will do? So if nicotine enters into our body, so in the place of oxygen, carbon monoxide will be settled down. So for that purpose, if a person is consuming a lot of cigarettes, what happens to his body? So he will suffer from high BP, or sometimes he will attack with heart stroke also. Okay, so this is the reason. What do you mean by nicotine, students? This nicotine is present mostly in the person who smokes. So what it will do actually, it will block the oxygen and carbon monoxide settles there. Nicotine present in the tobacco releases adrenaline and non-adrenaline hormone by the adrenal gland. It increases heart rate and blood pressure. This nicotine will increases the heart rate and even blood pressure also. Smoking causes oxygen deficiency by increasing the concentration of carbon monoxide. So instead of oxygen, this nicotine or this smoking, what it will do? Okay, it will increase the extent of carbon monoxide by decreasing the extent of oxygen. Okay, next. So these are all not. Which of the following is not included in the WHO definition of health? Physical well-being, mental well-being, social well-being, final well-being. So each and every student mention your answers in the comment section, students. Yes. So now I am going to display the question which are related to these human diseases and vaccines. So each and every students mention your answers in the comment section. The slides which I have skipped, those are repeated slides, students. So for that purpose I have skipped them. Okay. Yes. Not only in these also I am going to explain each and everything in detail in the MCQ session also, and tell me, students, what is the answer for this question. Very good. Okay, human health, WHO is means what is World Health Organization. So they have considered health as a state of mental, social and physical human being. Okay, it is considered as a status of mental, physical and social of humans. Okay, but it is not considered financial well-being. Diseases present at birth due to genetic defects are classified as acquired diseases, congenital diseases, infectious diseases, deficiency diseases. So I have explained you what are the types of diseases. Okay, what is the question actually? The diseases present at birth due to genetic defects are, that means that diseases are spread from mother to child. It may be a father or it may be like a mother. Okay, so the disease which are present in the mother, that is spread to the kid itself, that type of diseases are called as what? And even I have explained you the examples also, like Down syndrome and Turner syndrome. Okay, next color blindness. Okay, these are some of the diseases which will spread from mother to child through genes. Very good. Infectious diseases means if a disease is spread from one person to another person, HIV, AIDS. Next one is deficiency diseases means kwashiorkor, marasmus. If a person is having like a protein deficiency or nutrient deficiency, so if that type of diseases are considered as what is deficiency diseases. Example, kwashiorkor, night blindness, beriberi. Okay, so these are considered as deficiency diseases. Next. The confirmatory test for typhoid fever is ELISA, Vidal test, Montauk's test, PCR test. So I have already told you. So which pathogen is responsible for typhoid, students? Which pathogen? Bacteria. Okay, Salmonella typhi. Okay, which test is done to detect this typhoid? Tell me. So if a person is infected with this typhoid fever, if it is treated, it is okay. If it is not treated, what happens to that person intestines is, that person intestines gets perforated. Okay, so perforated is nothing but what sense? Like chills. Okay, very good. Vidal test. Which pathogen causes amoebic dysentery? Entamoeba histolytica, Plasmodium vivax, Ascaris lumbricoides, Salmonella typhi. So I have already told you what is this amoebic dysentery, students. If a person, okay, if a person consume the contaminated food, so how that food is contaminated? If a housefly, okay, the housefly, it will roam everywhere. Okay, the housefly, it will roar everywhere. It will even lie on the feces matter. Okay, if that housefly which lies on the fecal matter and if it lies on our food and if we consume that food, so what will enter into our stomach, students? The amoebic dysentery. Okay, that amoebic dysentery pathogen will enter into our body. So what happens actually? So what are the symptoms if a person is infected with this? So constipation. Okay, mucus in the blood stools. So these are some of the symptoms. Okay, so what is the answer for this question, students? Very good. Entamoeba histolytica. Next, the infective stage of Plasmodium that enters the human body through mosquito bite is merozoite, sporozoite, gametocyte, tropozoite. I have already told you. So this is a human being. Okay, if a mosquito, so here is a mosquito, just imagine he is a human being. Okay, if a mosquito bite a human being, so what enters into the human being, students? So that is the question they are asking. Okay, after that particular a parasite enter into our body, so finally through blood cells it will reach our liver. In liver what happens? That single sporozoite in our liver cell, it will multiple into many sporozoites. Okay, and the process which is happening here is asexual reproduction. And finally, as it is still multiplying, some or the other way or some or the other time, that liver cell, it will burst. When it bursts, so what happens then? So there exists some female sporozoites and male sporozoites. So there happens the sexual reproduction. Okay, and that stage is known as what, students? Gametocyte stage. In that gametocyte stage, if a person is in this gametocyte stage and if the mosquito bites again that gametocyte stage person, so what happens, students? That mosquito, when she is absorbing the blood of this gametocyte stage human being, so what type of sporozoites enters into that mosquito body, students? Both the male and female. So what happens in the mosquito body? Again, fertilization takes place. In that purpose, zygote formation will be done in the mosquito, and again in the mosquito that plasmodium will be multiplied into number of plasmodiums, sporozoites. That is the cycle which is repeated. Okay, very good. Sporozoite. The toxic substance released when Plasmodium destroys RBCs is hemoglobin, hemozoin, histamine, interferon. So did you understand? So if a person is bitten by a mosquito, female Anopheles, so that person, what enters into this person is sporozoite. So it will directly enters into our liver cells, and finally it will enters into our RBCs. Okay, the RBCs gets ruptured. So what type of poisonous substance is emitted when the RBCs is ruptured? Tell me, students. No. No, students. Yes, hemozoin. Okay, very good. Bhavana. Very good, Shivani. Okay. I have told you na. So this is mosquito. This mosquito has bitten a person. Okay. So this person, what enters into this person? Sporozoite. So this sporozoite directly enters into the liver. So what happens here? The liver consists of liver cells, right? Okay. In this sporozoite, the sporozoites will be multiplied into number of sporozoites. And finally, when it enters into the red blood cells, so these sporozoites, the red blood cells will be ruptured. And the poisonous which is released when RBCs rupture is known as what, friends? Hemozoin. Okay. Next. Which of the following is an example of physiological barrier of innate immunity? Skin, mucus coating, saliva and tears, neutrophils. So I have already told you. Innate immunity. Innate immunity means what, students? If a person is born by birth immunity. If a person is born by birth immunity, so we say it as what? Innate immunity. Okay, what do you mean by innate actually? A person have the capacity to fight against the pathogens. So there are 4 types of barriers as I told. Physical barriers, physiological barriers. That means, for example, physical barriers means what, students? The skin protects all the organs from pathogens. If there is no skin, so our body organs will all be visible. So the pathogens can easily attack our organs. So which is protecting us from our pathogens like skin. That is considered as physical barrier. So what are the physiological barriers? So tell me. Saliva and, yes, saliva and tears. Next. The most abundant antibody present in blood is IgA, IgM, IgG, IgE. So tell me, students, the antibody which is present in our blood is called Yeah, tell me, students, each and every students mention your answers in the comment section. Tell me, students. IgG. Okay. IgE means for allergics. Okay. Next. Which antibody is responsible for allergic reaction? IgG, IgM, IgA, IgE. So don't get confused, students. So tell me, just now I have told you which antibody is responsible for allergic reaction. IgE. Next. Passive immunity is best exemplified by vaccination, injection of antitoxin in snakebite, natural infection booster dose. So tell me, students. Passive immunity means what? Okay, if a person is bitten by a snake, so if he have the passive immunity, that means if he was already took the vaccine for a snake bite, so he is having the passive immunity. Okay, for example, so when we give birth or when we are a kid, polio vaccine will be done for all the kids. That is nothing but they are giving passive immunity to us. That means in the upcoming days, there is no chance a person is affecting with polio. Why? Because he has already given the passive immunity to face that polio virus. Okay, that is passive virus, passive immunity. Okay, I will explain you again. What do you mean by passive immunity, students? It is nothing but the immunity which we are giving to a person just before the disease spread to us. Okay, for example, in the childhood itself, we will be given polio vaccine in order in the future we must not face it. Okay, that means they are giving us passive immunity. Okay, before it attacks us. So tell me, students, what is the answer? Very good. Injection of antioxidant in snake bite. Very good. The site where lymphocytes mature and become antigen specific is spleen, lymph nodes, primary lymphoid organs, malt. So tell me students, the site where lymphocytes mature and become antigen specific is this lymphocytes. This lymphocytes consist of where students? So what are the types of white blood cells, tell me? So did you remember RBC? So these red blood cells are required for the oxygen transportation, and these white blood cells protects our body from parasites. Okay, so in the same way lymphocytes, so these are types of which type of blood cells, now tell me students? Yes, and the answer for this question is primary lymphoid organs. Sorry. Okay, next. Which organ acts as a blood filter and contains lymphocytes and phagocytes? Thymus, bone marrow, spleen, tonsils. Tell me. What is the answer for this question, students? So, which organ will filter our blood? Spleen. Okay. The causative agent of AIDS is bacteria, retrovirus, protozoan, fungus. So, what is the full form of HIV AIDS? All of you mention your answer in the comment section. Which is responsible for what is the causing agent for this HIV AIDS? I have already discussed about this. So, all of you mention your answers in the comment section, students. Each and every student mention your answer in the comment section. Very good, very good. The causative agents of AIDS is acquired immunodeficiency syndrome, human immunodeficiency virus. Okay, so what is the causative agent and what is the test to be done in order to detect this HIV virus patient? Very good. Retrovirus. What is the how this retrovirus will work? Okay, if a person is infected with this retrovirus, that retrovirus will be multiplied into many numerous virus. Okay. The enzyme used by HIV to produce viral DNA from its RNA genome is DNA polymerase, reverse transcriptase, RNA polymerase ligase. Very good, very good. Okay, hurry up guys. And in the evening in Chandan Loik's Telugu YouTube channel, we are having a session on Vijayanagara Empire. Okay, each and every students participate in all the Chandan Loik's YouTube channel, students. So why? Because we are going to give a very good content. So utilize those, so which are helpful for your SSC, RRB and APPSC, TGPSC and other competitive examinations also. Okay, and what is the answer, students? Very good, reverse transcriptase. The diagnostic test most commonly used for detection of HIV infection is viral test, ELISA, Montagu's test, Gram staining. Okay, which test, students? ELISA. Very good. The property by which malignant tumor cell spreads to distant parts of the body is called contact inhibition, metastasis, benign growth, apoptosis. So I have already told you we have two types of tumors. In cancer, so there appears two types of tumors. One is benign tumor. Benign tumor means, so where it is developed, so it will be in its original location. When comes to this malignant tumor, so what happens here actually in malignant tumor? It is developed somewhere and it will spread throughout the tissue. The tissues will spread throughout the organ. So what happens, that organ will be damaged. So what that type of process is said as? Very good. Metastasis. Which of the following is a carcinogen? UV radiation, glucose, oxygen, water. Carcinogen. In the given option, which is considered as the carcinogen, that means it is one of the reason for the cell damage. UV radiations. Very good. Okay. Skin cancer. For example, if a person's skin is incident by UV rays, so what happens to his skin? Skin cancer. Okay. Next, the drug commonly known as smack is marijuana, cocaine, heroin, charas. Okay, heroin. Next, cannabinoids mainly affect digestive system, cardiovascular system, respiratory system, excretory system. So these are nothing but drugs, students. Okay, these drugs actually, when a person consumes drugs, so which system will be affected most? What is the digestive system or cardiovascular system or respiratory system or excretory system? So tell me, which will be affected more? Very good, cardiovascular system. The hormone whose release is stimulated by nicotine leading to increased heart rate and blood pressure is insulin, adrenaline, thyroxine, cortisol. If a person consumes like a cigarette, so what will be in the cigarette, students? Nicotine. Okay, at that time, so which type of hormone is released by the smoker, students? Tell me. So what happens actually? This nicotine, it will blocks the oxygen level, and which will be increased in the human body? Carbon monoxide. For that purpose, so what happens? His heart rate will be increased. In the similar way, he will affect with the high BP. Okay, so what is the answer for this? Very good. Adrenaline or noradrenaline hormone is released when a person consumes nicotine. SSC CGL special batch complete course is available on our Chandan Law exam. RRB NTPC special batch complete course is also available. SSC GD special batch complete course is also available on our Chandan Law exam. 0 to Hero complete course is also available. SSC exams complete course, Tier 1 and Tier 2 complete course is also available on Chandan Law exam. Railway exam complete course is also available. Bank exams complete course is also available on Chandan Law exam. Bank SSC RRB combo course is also available. Arithmetic and reasoning, you can get these two books only for 999 plus delivery charges applicable. APPSC, TGPSC, SI constable courses are also available on Chandan Law exam. APPSC, TGPSC group 2 courses are also available. Single subject courses are also available on Chandan Law exam. So listen students, we have 3 channels: Chandan Law Telugu, Chandan Law English and Chandan Law main channel. So subscribe to those 3 channels so that whenever you have a live session, you will get a notification. So according to that, you can join in the sessions. And in the evening session, we are having a session on Vijayanagara Empire in Chandan Law Telugu YouTube channel. So each and every students participate in all the live sessions so that they will give you like a boost up. Okay, bye students, take care. We will meet in the evening session, Chandan Law Telugu YouTube channel, Vijayanagara Empire session.